like the way it looks. Yeah. They go through all the procedures. Yeah, when they started, perception of and of course, they're supposed to be bigger things every day and somebody's going to develop a gift.
Okay, on item 2, public comments, we have two, Dr. Richard Nimitz.
Nimitz is a lot. Yes, I'm representing the library board. I just wanted to thank the commissioners for supporting our first One Book, One Community event last Saturday. It was very well attended, and I think the public have really appreciated it. And I just wanted to let you know that the second event of about 12 is tomorrow, it's Tuesday night. And since you gentlemen all are dealing with roads a lot, and we're dealing with it more, the presentation is on the historic roads of Wilson County. And it should be an excellent presentation, so I'd like to invite the community to come to the American Legion Hall at 7 o'clock, where the presentation on the historic roads of Wilson County is part of the One Book, One Community. If you're not familiar with that, we're having the entire county read The Gates of the Alamo by Stephen Harrigan, and Wilson County is mentioned often in the book. So hopefully you will read the book and come to our events that last clear till March the 30th. The final event is the Sons of the Alamo, or Sons of the Republic are bringing their weapons to the library area. The sheriff has graciously allowed us to fire the weapons in the parking lot, so it should be a bang-up day.
If there's lots of pictures and really small words, I'm in.
I'll bring you out.
And I tried.
Steve Robbie, Three Oaks Community.
Yes, here for the public hearing regarding the Spirits Community Center, so I can take comments now or at the public hearing, which is at the pleasure of the board.
I think since you're with the community, as far as the agenda item, it'd be fine to wait till the end if you like. Item 4, approve bonds for Gloria L. Devon, Christy C. Gonzalez, Teresa Flush, Kathy R. Kitchens. Harley. Motion. File, Mr. Gomez, Item 5, presentation of plaques to Lane County. Lane. Wilson County of Wilson, State of Texas, presentation to Elaine Tackett. Wilson County wishes you a happy retirement and sincere appreciation for your years of valuable service. January 31, 2013.
Thank you. I appreciate everything everybody has helped me with in all the years, and I really miss y'all already.
didn't want you out of the house already?
He's gonna reserve his comments for later.
I cook now, so he likes it now.
Oh, I'll come by.
Ms. Jan, would you like to come up? For item 6, presentation of flag for Junior Christmas.
County of Wilson, State of Texas, to new beginnings and happy memories. Wilson County thanks Cindy Pruski for outstanding service with best wishes for a happy retirement.
Thank you all very much, and I really enjoyed working with all of you too, and appreciate everything. Thanks a lot.
Thank y'all both.
Thank y'all both.
Item 7, public hearing, courthouse, annex 1, 2, 3, updates, comments, questions. Okay. I brought a cake, I said, go where they need to eat cake.
That would have been okay. That's a good plan.
You should have told them earlier.
Are there any public hearing comments on the courthouse 1, 2, and 3? And none, we'll move on into.
Whenever everybody's through signing that in, have it back. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Is Russell, you got the stuff that Russell had on here?
I don't, Judge. Russell and I met, researched this, and both of these have actually been approved, so these items can be removed from the agenda.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, action was taken back in October.
Thank you. Item 9, discussion of possible action of allowing the county to advertise bids for the TXCDBG 712157 grant for materials and hauling. This grant was awarded to the county November 15th, 2012 for the storm damages of May 10th, 2012, precincts 1 and 2.
Do we have to get separate bids or just one bid package for the whole thing?
It's gonna be two separate, and, we'll go out for bids, starting, today, or when it goes in the paper. And we cannot award it until we get the okay from the grant money to, she said probably next month, the beginning of April. So we'll award the biddings on probably I'll write it down, and that way we can, award it where, me and Paul can get the bids.
So do you need a motion to go off?
Yes.
Motion, John, final, all in favor?
Okay, and when will you open the bids, you said?
Uh,
Whenever the grant?
Grant, it'll probably be, she
We'll
said
have
in
to
April.
count the days and figure out the timing.
Yeah, the
And
time,
you'll let me
yeah,
know?
I'll let you know.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, item 10, discuss, take action on remove the cedar trees located along Sioux Street next to the gazebo. The light company contacted me and said they needed to remove that tree to both lights so it wouldn't light up the courthouse. Just trim it. And they said, we'll move back to trim it. And I said, well, I'm not gonna give the okay unless the court. Now, we had that tree planted. Actually, the tree that's in the parking lot from New Zealand, the kind of light colored one, was planted there and it didn't make it. So they put this one back in there for a Christmas tree, a yearly Christmas tree. But then they replanted one in the parking lot that's growing and doing great. It's a great tree. I mean, I don't think we would lose much if we would remove that tree from out there by the C Street. But, like I said, it really doesn't matter to me. That's the light company's suggestion, and I told them, well, I'd take it to the court. So y'all want to discuss it and see what you think about it.
I guess the other option would be to move the lights.
Well, it's those posts.
There's those posts that are stationary already there.
They mentioned that, that,
We don't, that's too right up the courthouse?
Yeah.
It blocks the view.
And I guess what I'm saying, I think with that other tree in the parking lot, it really is a beautiful tree. It's probably expendable, you know, I mean, yes,
Can I make a suggestion?
Mhm.
Do we just defer it, and I'll have a look at it with you, see if I can find any ideas?
that's fine.
Please
That's fine.
do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not urgent that we do it today, is it?
No, I don't think so. I bet if we approved it, it wouldn't be done for a while. So, we'll just table this one.
Ricky does have an accent schedule. Well, maybe a half.
I kind of cherry tree.
It's a mosquito.
Item 11, the people that put it on has to be removed today. They're gonna use the American Legion parking lot. Item 12, Lynn Ray West, President ESD number 3, established ESD number 3 board, request approval of funds to operate. Anyone have anything on that?
I can basically speak for Mr. West, he's not here right now. But basically what we need to do is get some money for operating costs, hire attorney, insurance, bonds, stuff like that. We don't need a whole lot, just enough to keep us going until we start getting tax money.
I know we didn't provide funds for ESP number 1 or number 2.
We did not.
They negotiated the line of credit, I believe.
What they did, I think they went out for loans.
They negotiated a line of credit.
Their line of credit was, bank or somebody.
The bank is requesting two of us off the board to co-sign with our personal signatures to guarantee the repayment. And that's the right ask to do.
You what?
She thinks that it was in our, approved to send them money. I'll have to go back and check that out, Judge.
Sure.
Send money for,
Well, it's just it's a loan, is what it's amounting to.
But this is different than this.
Yeah.
Those funds are operational funds for all the different EMSs and fire departments in the county. I think there's a question about the legality. One is, could we do it if we wanted to, but I know we haven't done it in the past.
Well, why don't we table this, let, ask Dana to research the legality of it, and see if, I think just a guarantee is all they really need, that instead of them signing the note, which I don't like them, I wouldn't want to sign it either, and, if it is legal for us to sign it, then we'll look into that.
The question that you have is it legal for the county to essentially guarantee the note for the ESP?
For an operational fund, we're probably looking at $10,000, I would guess, and probably spending only half of that. That's a different thing. That's operational, and that went directly to the EMS and fire departments.
Well, we did, we sent it to them to start with. They elected to give it to the fire department, and then on the one, precinct 4, we prorated it. Part of it went to them, the other because we was looking at the fringes of the district. So, I mean, we were, I mean, whether it's legal or not, that's what way we work, because.
But we haven't guaranteed a loan. We provided funds for operations.
No, I agree.
But no loan guarantee.
But I mean, I stand for it. But the, I think we just mean, it's not like that we don't spend the money, because the taxes will come in and take care of it. We can't guarantee it every year. I really don't blame the individual for not wanting to be on a note for those taxes.
So we're gonna verify the legality of it.
Verify the legality of it, and
Either I'll get back with you, or the county attorney, and just let me know what to do.
Well, that's all I can ask for. Thank you.
let me ask this, once the county attorney, acts on it, determines that it is legal, instead of putting it back on the agenda, can we vote that it's legal, that we will guarantee the note, and just go through you and her, would that be? Motion, for the legality of it, Commissioner Wiley, second, Commissioner Lyle, all in favor? Thank you. Item 13, Sheriff Joe D. Tackett, racial profile and stats handout.
Judge, this is just the stats from the racial profiling, and it needs to be filed with the county clerk. I'll give you one of your copies if I want it. I'll give you a copy.
Item 14, public hearing, county relinquishment of any interest in the Three Oaks Community Center property.
And I do have a sign-in sheet, so if everybody would please sign it. Okay, thank you.
I spoke to Mr. Robbie this morning for him to make his comments. And I'm gonna apologize to the court, it was an oversight on my part, I didn't get the resolution actually put on the agenda, so should the court agree to it, the resolution would be on the next agenda. From the best of Mr. Robbie's research, it looks as though this property was deeded to the county for school purposes. At some point, though we can't locate the actual transfer of ownership, it appears it was transferred to Cove. At which point Cove in the 50s ceased to operate it as a school, but it was requested that one of the buildings remain for a community center, and it's been used as such since. So the only question that the Three Oaks Community Center, their board has, is there may or may not be an ownership interest in the county, so they've requested that. A deed's already been done by Cove to the Three Oaks Community Center, and so their only request is that we would do a resolution relinquishing any interest that the county may or may not have in the property at this point. And I'll let him speak to you more on that. He likes.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak to the court on this. As Ms. Caldwell has indicated, just a little history on the property. In 1909, William Cater sold 3.5 acres to Wilson County judge for school purposes. The school had already been operating on that property since about 1902. Then in 1909, it was transferred to the county. It was operated as a common school district until 1955. And common school districts were under the supervision of the county superintendent of schools. And in 1955, the Wilson County School Board issued an annexation order annexing the Three Oaks Common School District number 39 to the Consolidated Independent School District. And within 1 year, then, the Post ISD closed that school. And Theodore Cater, who was William Cater's son, was on the Post School Board at the time, requested that the property and one of the school buildings be left for the Three Oaks community for judge first, and then County Attorney Russell Wilson about wanting to clear the title on it, and County Attorney Wilson said, well, the county really doesn't have interest in any of the other country schools, the Poth ISD, and that was really our first, understanding that it went on Poth ISD. So after doing the research in Poth ISD school records, it was clear that an annexation, and in fact, that is the only place where we found reference to the annexation order from the county school district of Poth. It was in a boundary certification, so it just referenced that order. So then we came back and looked for that order and have been unable to locate those records. So in light of that situation, we asked the school board to deed over to the Three Oaks Community Center Incorporated. We incorporated as a nonprofit corporation for the purpose of, it's just a better legal entity to hold property. And so the school district has transferred its interest, any that it might have had, to Three Oaks Community Center Inc. And now it's asking for the county to clarify its interest in the property or not. And so we respectfully request your favorable consideration of our request.
For those of you in the courtroom who may not know Steve, Steve lives in the Three Oaks community, and his family does, and has for many years, but he serves on the San Antonio River Authority, and he's been a great asset to our county, be able to communicate from us and for us, and with the River Authority. It's been a good thing happening. We appreciate all the advice we've had over the years. Thanks. Motion, Commissioner Fowles, second, Commissioner Gomez, all in favor?
Gentlemen, I apologize, and I will, the resolution was prepared, it just wasn't on the agenda this morning. So, I will make sure that that resolution is on the next agenda and, present that to the court.
Item 15, Eva S. Martinez, County Clerk, elections contract with Evergreen Underground Water Conservation District.
Judge, Evergreen contacted me, and one of its members is up for election. And should that member, that person represents Wilson County, should that member be on the ballot when we have an election on May the 11th, then we would be glad to host them their early voting for, should this person not go in claim for the so I would mention you want to do that.
Wiley, all in favor? Jason Royer, Reptiles, consider and take action on exotic snake ordinance to include use street regulations for possession rather than prohibiting possession. Yes, sir.
Morning, gentlemen. Thank you again for allowing me to speak this morning. I got copies here, and I don't know if they passed them out already. These are the...
We've already got.
Okay. Anybody else wants a copy? I've got plenty. I got with the Herb Alliance legal team. They watched the video, of everyone's concerns, and I leave back for Iraq again in 6 days, and I'm not gonna be able to come to any of the future meetings. So I wanted to get this in your hands so you can see what we came up with. I tried to get in touch with Dr. Hill, but I couldn't find him. He had swine flu, so
I'm not so certain I had the swine flu, but everybody I gave it to claimed it.
So he unfortunately been out of commission, but we're gonna actually get together a little bit more today so he can come to the facility and see, what we do. But basically, on the 5th page, what we came up with here is possession is still prohibited unless you follow these rules. And the rules are obviously very strict. Enclosure, the caging is the backbone of it. You gotta have a proper cage. If you have a proper cage, sturdy, secure, and it has an operable lock, it's bite-proof, it's escape-proof. The issue of an animal being loose should be pretty much alleviated. It needs to be clearly and visibly labeled with a scientific name, common name, number of specimens in the enclosure. In case somebody does have to come in there, if one of them is loose, they can know how many were in there. The cage needs to be marked venomous snake inside. I actually have some examples. I was up in Arlington this weekend, at a reptile expo, and somebody gave me some stickers, some of the, kind of what they like to use for stuff like that, you know, venomous reptile danger, and then for transport containers, you know, something smaller to let people know, hey guys, we got a venomous animal inside. The transport containers, the same way, they have to be escape-proof, bite-proof, they need to be clearly and visibly labeled, scientific name, common name. For venomous, a bite protocol needs to be required in the facility, in case EMT or somebody has to go in there. They have steps and procedure, and this is normal for venomous keepers, at least the responsible ones. They do this anyways because their lives are in their hands too, so. Emergency contact information, local animal control office, name and location of suitable antivenom, first aid procedures and treatment guidelines. This stuff's all real easy to get a hold of, especially with the San Antonio Zoo. Even for the non-native venomous stuff, they have antivenom on hand, and they have a process. So, and the venomous keepers have to know that and keep that with the animals. In the event of an escape, they need to have an escape recovery plan so they can have an idea how to get the animal back, and they have to notify local law enforcement. And I can give the court and the clerk contact information, not just for us, but for the local herp society. That's actually something that they do whenever animals are loose. They come to recover them. And they've got years of experience with the venomous or the large constrictors or whatever. They can come get the animal if that's necessary. And then when anyone steps into the facility, whether it's somebody's home or an actual reptile facility, a clearly labeled inventory needs to be posted within plain sight immediately inside the main entry of the facility, so that if a person has to walk in, they know that their venomous animals contain what is in there, and you know, very, very clear. The one thing that I did bring up to the Herp Nation, the Herp Alliance legal team was the outdoor signage, and it raised concerns with them as far as inviting vandalism and theft, because some of these animals are in the tens of thousands of dollars just for one animal, and thefts have occurred at other people's facilities. So that did raise some concerns, and that's why they went with the. Plus, they also did say that some homeowners insurance, they don't care if you have the animals in your home, but if you put a sign out in your front, because it would invite vandalism and possible theft, they'll drop the insurance. So I mean, that was a concern to them. But that's why they went with the route of labeling the transport containers, labeling the caging, and also putting something inside. As soon as you go in, there it is right there, for anybody to see that, hey, there are venomous animals inside, and here's what is in here, and here's what you need to do in case something happens. So, I mean, like I said, because he's been sick, I would have gladly waited, but in 6 days I'm back in Iraq, so I just wanted to get this in everybody's hands so we can, hopefully I can get my animals back home and maybe, get this thing finished, so. But that's basically it.
Well, Dr. Hill, we want to thank you for bringing this to our attention. And obviously, same as we just want some responsible, we don't want, and I think
I'm the same way,
we all
absolutely.
share the same thing.
Yes, sir.
We just want people to be responsible and so protection for the community and protection for your business. And I think this probably is the best of both worlds, and we appreciate you for bringing it to us and for y'all working together on it and coming up with.
Well, I'm gonna clear my surgery schedule this afternoon and go to his facility today.
Okay.
And then he and I are gonna kind of hammer this out the best we can, and then we'll present it to you.
Okay.
And then I'll notify him via email.
One thing I would like to say, this big picture in the reptile community, not just statewide but nationwide, this has kind of brought, some attention to Wilson County because there's a lot of good keepers that self-police and are very responsible and they do well, but then of course people get their hands on animals that they probably shouldn't get their hands on because they're irresponsible. And actually that's why it's one of the largest expos in the country, the one in Arlington. And I spoke with some of the national organizations, and we're actually going to start working on a program, like an apprenticeship program, I think, nationwide, so that we can better self-police. And this issue right here actually brought that up. So I think it's a good thing, for the entire reptile community and everybody involved.
And Judge, I would like to add that what I'd really hope that we might be able to do is add to this poisonous and dangerous reptiles. We're just looking at snakes here.
But if you outlaw snakes, they'll go to something else. And, you know, the poisonous dart frog is probably one of the most deadly frogs in the world. And, you know, the cane toad frog, they'll start trading these things. And so we need to look at all poisonous and or dangerous reptiles. You know, like you in your articles with Mrs. Dilla going back and forth, you talked about your ball pythons, you know, rarely get over 4 feet. And at our first meeting that we had, that's what we were looking at. You know, a constrictor over 4 feet we consider dangerous. So that will exempt 95% of yours. Of your snakes. It's a rare thing, and you even stated that a snake would go over up to 5 feet. Well, so it'll be a rare thing that you'll have to get rid of that. And what I would like for us to consider in the county, that there needs to be a grandfather clause. I mean, this is a business that he had. We're not here to destroy businesses. I'm here to help him the best we can with that. But at the same time, all the arguments that we had at our last meeting that these things can't survive, they are surviving. They're in cages. And yeah, the statistics that a tornado might knock their house down is very minimal. It still exists. And signage, I think, is going to be a real big issue for us. I think that we do need signage. I think it's very important. And I think that we need to ask for, if you're going to have a poisonous, venomous reptile, it can only be indigenous to Wilson County. And nothing else. We don't need cobras here, and mambas and all the rest. So that's kind of where I stand, and Jason knows where I stand.
Well, it's like I said, I appreciate that you brought it to us, but I do want to recognize that these people have a business and have an investment, and that they provide us with some very good, I think, rules to manage it, you know, so. We're not gonna please everybody, but I wanna be fair to everybody that we deal with, and to our communities too. Thank you.
And these frogs that you're talking about, can they survive?
Well, actually, the poison dart frog, what he's talking about, the reason that they have the poison is there's a certain ant indigenous to their native lands, like in South America. If they don't eat that ant, it's no longer a poison dart frog, it's actually just a dart frog. And they're commonly traded throughout the reptile community, and they need that ant in order to produce that poison. If they don't have that ant to eat, which nobody feeds them that ants in the reptile community, they're not poisonous anymore, they're just considered dart frogs.
Okay, we'll add ants on
That'll be the next thing is.
Yeah, but no, nobody in the reptile
Well,
community
this
feeds
over
in those
here,
ants.
because I feed you poisonous ants.
Yeah. No, nobody does that.
That's what I was gonna say.
No, fire ants.
We need to throw a real big loop, is what I'm saying. We need to tie this baby down. You can't throw it.
Okay,
Thank you, Jeff.
thank you. Thank you. Item 17, Thorn Graves Architect. Item A, proposal of architectural services for the historic courthouse renovation project. Oh, before you do that, by the way, I started to bring a slide from when I was overseas. I was holding up the end of about a 25, you know, I saw the other day where a 25-foot python was the longest. I really believe this one I got on that slide was longer than that. And I was gonna put on there, we found it over on 3rd Street. But the age might have gave it away. You want your sticker?
If you guys don't want them, I'll take them, but I'll get them.
I think maybe Commissioner Fox put that on the side of his pickup.
It could be true. That's what you put on your toolbox.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Good morning. It was proposed together that was submitted for the all-important, what we see is probably the second phase to the redevelopment of the county offices here. We're in the process of sort of wrapping up what we think is a construction schedule in terms of priorities and necessity for the most part. Obviously, this taking, call this as phase 1, which will be the end of the cafeteria wing is that we'll be doing first. But then during that same time, we really need to get over into the existing courthouse to stabilize obviously the foundation system, make the envelope secure, But while we're there, obviously it makes sense then to do any remediation, we need to do interior-wise, reorganize offices as need be, because we need to move obviously all you guys who are here, over the facility to the second floor and ground floor, which enables us then to have this area free, for this to be the, I guess they call it the third phase for the library in this part of the building. So sort of, it's a catch-22, sort of, is the process that needs to run that way. So our proposal we're putting forward is to do the observation during the actual construction of the work that's been done, plus then to do any architectural work, design work, coordinating with the county or needs to for these offices and the offices that need to be within that space.
Everybody get that email? The proposal thing? Any questions?
We'll be actually be working on that now, because obviously that's going to be running something on conjunctively with the back part of it.
That's part of the X-ray?
No, that's part of the, it's the 17A.
No, but is that, the X-ray service, is that part of this?
Yes, well, it's all going, yes, exactly what we wanted last time, yeah. That will be part of the X-ray facilities too. It's a lot of this investigative work. We're also, I know that the judge mentioned in the past about maybe some concerns over the HVAC system over there at the courthouse, the old courthouse too, that we'll be going through and checking that. For the most part, on our initial survey for the building envelope and the roof, it's in pretty good shape up there. But mechanical systems haven't been tested to see whether we need to add some more tonnage or not. Obviously, we need to check for ADA for the elevator system that we have there. So,
And that's, what are you talking about, the air conditioners? That's pretty antiquated air conditioning system we have. We may or may not want to use it as something, but we need to look at it, see if it's more financially feasible to replace them with more modern, efficient air conditioning or to leave them. So that's well, the reason I brought that up.
now's the time to do it.
Anything else? This was said before we can act on it.
And then part B was the, we've also had 3 proposals for 3 facilities for asbestos check, just to make sure. What we've seen in our initial investigations, walking through and crawling over the building, I don't know, we were there, I didn't see a great deal. There may be some lining around some pipes, but for the most part, the age of that building, I don't see that being too much of an issue. But we need to do our due diligence to make sure that we have it covered, we can remediate if necessary.
Commissioner Wiley, Commissioner Fowle, all in favor? Thank you. Appreciate it. Item 18, Lee Ann Moore.
Okay, he did A and
Oh, okay.
Tell you what, before we take the end, let's take a short break and have some of that case.